minutes for Mrs. Cronus.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and thank you to all of you. Je vous remercie pour votre service.
Thank you for your service.
It's been an honor to hear your testimony today, because you clearly care immensely about Canada, about your communities, and also about your colleagues, and it's really heartening to see that. You've also each commented on the way that government policies fall short around facilitating veteran entrepreneurship, and you've outlined steps that could be taken to fix that. But every one of the activities that you've described would require investment to create the kind of pathways that you're describing, even when it's done sort of not as a favor basis. So I'd like to give each of you a chance to just talk and put your thoughts on the record about any concerns you might have about the $4.23 billion of cuts that are proposed to Veterans Affairs and spelled out in the 2025 budget. And we'd also really love to hear I'd really love to hear from you on the ideas that you have on how Canada can do better to facilitate the kind of programs that you're talking about.
You can take this. Madam Chair. Thank you. That's a really good question. Obviously, I have a finance degree, so I weaved it into my presentation. It's a capital allocation decision. So we don't have that statistic in Canada because we, again, don't measure it. But I believe I've saw statistics that in the U.S., veteran-owned businesses have a lower failure rate than non-veteran-owned. Another statistic I saw in Israel has abnormally, disproportionately high a degree of successful startups compared to the rest of the world because of their mandatory military service. So on those two data points, it's basically a less risky financial capital allocation decision by investing into veterans. So that's one suggestion. Another one is, for the lack of better terms, like sometimes you just need to get out of our way. To give you an example, when I was trying to jumpstart this coaching program, I had a call with Veteran Affairs Canada, and they said, "We like what you do. We cannot help you promote your stuff. Like, we cannot endorse you." If only they could, like, help these grassroots initiatives that are popping up, like Christopher is doing, and Kevin, and Princess Trust, and Treble Victor, and I can name a lot more. Like, help us, help ourselves. That doesn't require investment necessarily. Those are my 2 points.
I mean, it's still going to require Veterans Affairs to do more with less, and when they change programs and create programs, even if it doesn't require them to fund you anymore, it will still cost the department money that they're not actually going to have, which is, I think, where some of my concerns come from. And I'd really love to hear I'd love to hear what your perspectives are, Mr. Leboeuf or Mr. Henneberry.
Madam Chair. You know, I've been working in business my entire life, and some of the biggest companies, my current customers are Amazon, Google, and T-Mobile. At the end of the day, you know, there's finance decisions being made. I get that. But I don't necessarily agree that these funds these funds are allocated as part of your yearly budget, right? And I get that there's going to be pullbacks. A lot of those are coming from probably capital projects, I imagine. Right. So my kind of point on that is whenever we get into a situation, and I see this with companies that I work with all the time, when they have to look at their budget and look at it aggressively, then you need to be a lot smarter with your allocations, those things that are going to create the most value. I don't think what a lot of people are asking here is more funds. I think what people are asking for is a more attuned allotment of those funds, especially when we talk about retraining. I think that's what everybody has really said. I think that has been very consistent from at least 4 of the panelists that we've seen, is that there needs to be a better way that we allocate those funds, because it's not necessarily throwing people into university is not necessarily going to create the most value. I have 2 kids in university. I can tell you that 100%. I see lots of unemployed people with degrees. I think we need to be a lot more clever with those funds, and we need to be a lot more open to I don't know, be a little bit more I know I'm in the creative industry, but be creative and get out of this little box that we've put ourselves into.